The time has finally come. The moment that 3 of you have been waiting for. To cap off Game Boy Pocket Week, I'm going to teach you how to mod a Game Boy Pocket by installing a gorgeous IPS display in it. And I'm definitely not going to break anything. Pocket time. This should be the easiest, fastest one of them all. This is the last model that we need to take care of. And even as I'm recording this, I'm not sure which mod kit I want to go with. But this is the easiest one, so that's what I'm going to do the in-depth tutorial on. I'll do a live stream of the other mod kit since it's a little more hands-on, I guess. There's more work to it. Let's just get into this one and I'll explain why I'm doing this one in the video and we'll do the other one in stream without any cuts. Well, there will be cuts, but anyways, this mod involves no cutting and only one wire needs to be soldered. It really can't get easier than this one. I think I'm actually over prepared with all the stuff I've got over here. This is all from Retro Game Repair Shop as usual. Links down below and use code Jake to save 10%. If you want to learn how to mod any of the other models, I have tutorials on all the rest of them. This is the last one I need to do. The first in-depth tutorial wasn't the best, and I plan to remake that one very soon. Let's start tearing this thing down. First things first, get your tri-wing screwdriver out, flip this over, throw off the battery cover, and there are 6 screws. One here, one here, one here, one here, one here, and the last one right next to it. Sometimes the screws won't come out of the hole. Just take off the battery cover as long as you've unscrewed it. Just take off the back cover, not the battery cover. Put that off to the side. We don't need it anymore. And we can get out our Phillips head screwdriver. And then we got 3 more screws here, here, and here. To release the screen, you're going to want to pop these 2 little beige tabs up here. Sorry, it's just going to focus on my freaking thumb. Pull those 2 up, then you can gently pull out the ribbon cable. There we go. And then you can just grab the entire motherboard and pull that out. Sometimes your membranes are going to come with it. That's okay. Now we can literally just toss all of this to the side. We don't need any of it. If you want to reuse your membranes or buttons or anything, obviously keep those. We're not going to do that today. If you're keeping the shell and stuff, you're on your own for that. I don't know. Now, this is already cleaned because I clean everything beforehand, but I take some IPA and spray it all over, use my toothbrush, clean that up. Sometimes use a paper towel, get front and back in the cart slot, everywhere. Just make sure everything is dry before you put it back in the shell. Since it's IPA, it should dry pretty fast. I use 99% isopropyl alcohol. And I also like to clean the inside of the power switch. I've done plenty of shorts on this. We're just gonna move on. Let's get out the shell. Now, most of the time, the mod kits are gonna come with a screen lens. You can choose to have a hole for the LED or not. Not all pockets have power LEDs. Don't know why. I don't know if it's like a battery saving thing or what, but this is the only model to do that, and it's only on some of them. Let me know if you know why in the comments down below. But ours today does not have an LED, so we're going with the no hole lens. Come on. I have scissors. What I was about to say is I have scissors right next to me. Wow. It's all fine. Anyways, slightly embarrassing. Again, this shell is from Funny Playing and it is meant to go with the IPS display, so there's no trimming involved whatsoever. I really like that. And no matter what kit you go with, whether it is the Funny Playing one or the OSD, it will fit in here because it's the same exact display. It's just different ribbon cables. We're using the Funny Playing one because again, it's the easier one here. And this is in the mindset of beginners, but I also try and do it for the mod kits I like the most. I do think the OSD is a little more in-depth though, because you have to solder to the vias and the pocket vias are not that fun to solder to. And there's no test pads, so there's no making it easier on yourself. Now, this is the same screen that you'll see in a lot of mod kits. I'm not gonna use this double-sided tape here since we've got this little piece of tape here. Using this little piece of tape will ensure that it's easier to take apart if we do something wrong. There is nothing to solder to here. The touchpad is already included in the ribbon cable, so you don't have to solder a touchpad. That is going to be for our brightness. I really wish that they used the contrast wheel for brightness like they did on the DMG. But yeah, I think that's all I need to say about it. It literally just drops right in perfectly. Nothing really to worry about there. So this is awkward. I almost always test my mod kits like you should because once you fully install them, you can't return them. So here's how you test it. Slide the ribbon cable in and lock the tabs down. Then you're gonna have to solder the wire to this dot here and C on the power switch. Then you can put the back half on, put in the batteries, and turn it on. If it looks like this, you're good. If not, you should probably get a new mod kit. I go way slower on every step in the rest of the video, but like every tutorial, you should watch the whole thing first before following along. I just needed to quickly show how to test it so Retro Game Repair Shop doesn't get mad at me. But if after seeing that you're still like, nope, this is way too much for me, don't worry. This Game Boy Pocket and other modded Game Boys are currently up for sale on my website, retroremaster.com. And I hate to bring it up, but modded Game Boys are the perfect gift to celebrate the Honda days, or Toyotathon if you're one of those people. And if you're watching this in the future, you can buy one to celebrate, when does Chevy do their big sale? You can get all the mod parts you see today and more at retrogamerepairshop.com. And as always, you can use code JAKE to save 10% on everything store-wide. All the links you'll ever need are in the description down below. This drops in just like that. We're gonna peel this side here, and of course I trimmed my fingernails yesterday, so it's infinitely harder to peel this. Highly recommend that you don't trim your fingernails before doing any modding. That's why my fingernails are usually long in my videos and my streams. So we're just gonna line this up here. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I am a perfectionist. Now we can just push this guy through there and we can peel the other side off. Maybe, again, don't cut your fingernails, just let them grow forever like that lady in Ripley's Believe It or Not. I'm gonna put this on first. Usually I will tell you in these mods to just rest this up there without peeling anything off. Put the screen in first and then put the screen lens on. But in this case, since it lines up perfectly, I'm gonna do it the other way. I also like to peel this off, leave that white portion on that doesn't have any of the sticky on it, push it like that, then carefully, without touching any of the uncovered glass, line that up better than I did, slap it on, you're good to go. Then quickly, we're going to peel this off. So quickly, we're gonna peel that off, and we're gonna slap it down right in there. Now we should have no dust in there, no little hairs, no fingerprints, and honestly, unless it's really bad or it really bugs you, don't touch it if there is a hair. Get some canned air. If you try and take care of any fingerprints or any hairs or dust, you're just gonna attract more. Dust and hair, as long as it's not on any of like the tape parts, is a lot easier just using canned air. But fingerprints, good luck. It just kind of smears and then you have it everywhere. And so you just try and get it good enough and then you give up after like 30 minutes. And you're like, this is fine, whatever. Laminated kits are the way to go, but as far as I know, they only have that for Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Color. But anyways, let's just get back to the mod. Let's get our buttons out and keep on rolling. It's pretty simple and straightforward to put all these buttons in. Start and select are just membranes, so no plastic there. D-pad's 1 unit, there's a notch so you can't put it in wrong. A and B are identical, so you can't get them mixed up. They only go in one way, but you can swap them out. Only one way for the membranes to go on. Well, technically you can flip this either way or this one either way, but we've got our buttons in. I wait until the end to put the power switch in. One thing I am gonna do here is because these pins are pretty pokey, and usually I trim these down. It does line up along these little pads. I've had problems with shorting on the Game Boy Color mod kits. I'm extra cautious with this stuff because shorting is not good. I'm going to tape over the screen. Just one little line right there. No biggie. And that should protect it from shorting. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the screwdriver and the screws that we've got included. I'm gonna get out the 3 Phillips head screws and screw this thing down. Same 3 screw holes as earlier. From here, we can fold this over and just slide it in like that. You should go until you can't see the pins anymore. Push these down till they are flush. You can see the pins just tiny bit there. That's okay. Now we're gonna take this out. And usually, at least with the Game Boy Color versions, you can just have it rest up like that and it'll work. I'll test it out and tell you on screen right now if you should tape it down or not. But now we're gonna solder. So plug your soldering iron in, turn it on, grab some solder. If you've never soldered before, don't worry. It's honestly very easy. It's very simple. It's just scary when you're holding something that's 300 degrees Celsius. We're gonna take our hot soldering iron, put it on the touchpad, push the solder into the soldering iron, and lift up. Perfect little solder ball. Couldn't get any better than that. Now we're gonna take our little baby wire that's included with the mod kit, solder that down to that little solder bubble. We got a little solder on P. It's no biggie. As long as those aren't like bridged, you're good. We're gonna take this, put it up to C on the power switch, tap it down like that. And I can't really tell from this angle if it's good or not. It's not the best solder job, but it works. If you need to, get some flux. Just put the tiniest little dab. A dab will do ya. Hold your wire steady. And all you gotta do is give a little tap. The flux is gonna do its job. Pull away and you're good. Unplug your soldering iron and admire your work. Again, still not the best, but it's good. And yeah, just like you saw at the beginning when I forgot to test the screen, because I rarely test the screen, sorry. It's working, we're all good. So I just went ahead and put the back half on, but I also was dumb and forgot to put the power switch in there. And to turn it off, I just shorted it. Nice. I may have called myself a pro in my reaction video. I like to call myself an advanced amateur, but we've got the last 6 screws here. Same 6 screws as before. Do I really need to show them all? These will be the last 6 screws remaining in your set. Also realizing I never tested the touch pads, but you've got to be kidding me, right? Did I actually kill it? Yes, I did really break that. Honestly, I don't think I shorted anything because my tweezers are ESD safe. However, the fuse did die right when I went to turn it off. Luckily, I had a spare fuse lying around and it was an easy fix. But that's how you mod a Game Boy Pocket. If you didn't break anything like I did, you should be able to adjust the brightness with the contrast wheel and change the color palettes by pressing the touchpad. You can also press and hold the touchpad to add or remove the grid lines. I'm not a huge fan of grid lines, so I always turn them off. If you want to see what the OSD IPS mod kit is all about, I did a stream on it this week where I went into full in-depth tutorial mode live. I also did a live stream on the mod kit we used today if you want an uncut version to follow along with. If you're watching this later, they'll probably be on the VODs channel because that's where I post all of my streams now. So you should subscribe to the VODs channel and this channel if you haven't already. You can get everything I used here today by clicking the links down below. And of course, use code Jake to save 10% at RGRS. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below and I will try my best to answer them. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Game Boy Pocket Week and I hope you enjoyed it. So like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Later, guys. Why are there seagulls? We're like an hour or 2 away from the coast. What? They were really loud too. They must have been low flying. Anyways, I feel like I have to burp, but it's like stuck in here. There it is. I remember years ago, someone told me I should take caution when it comes to mods. I did. It's a lot weirder when I don't have the bill of my hat to like stop me. I don't know.